You're on a path in the woods. You're here to slay her. You make your way up a warning. She will lie. We're not going to go through with. Ignore him. The interior of the cat. The blade is. The door to the basement. Her voice.
Hello?
Is hypnotized. Don't let it.
Wait, really? You're here to rescue me?
I see.
Come downstairs. I want to see the face of my rescuer.
You walk down the stairs. I am begging you.
Hi. I hope you brought something to deal with.
You were lying. You're only making this more difficult.
Thank you.
You're making a... No. You're doing the right. Walk up to the chain. They're large and heavy.
I'm guessing you don't have the key?
Maybe it's somewhere up. Doubtful. Whoever...
Okay. I'll be here.
You attempt to make your... Is someone else here? You make your way to... Easier for who? Easier for everyone. Look at the mess.
I heard the door slam.
There's a slight panic.
If I could just get out of these chains, I know...
She barely hesitates before raising her arm to her. As she rips her flesh from her bone, a sound comes from behind you. The clang of... It's the blade. Or we could... You won't like what happens. Without hesitation, you bring the wound drives. Okay. There's no going...
You bastard. Were you lying to me this whole time?
The princess pushes away, wounded, but still alive.
You've made a terrible enemy, and there's...
I thought we had the upper hand. It's an act. I'm not so... Don't waver. As you ready your blade to deliver a lethal blow, your knife cuts into her again and again. Forget about trying to... Though your nerves are seizing with pain, you know you've done your... You seize a moment of hesitation to throw her off of you. We can still turn this around. You steal your... Excuse me? Do you think this is what... Can you not feel all those gaps? You take another step forward. The two of you enter one last exchange. You collapse on the ground.
After all this time alone, I thought
Silence. You've paid a terrible price.
If you think this is it...
But you don't have time to worry over such things. You're on a path. You're here. What? She will lie. Don't worry. The interior of the blade. No blade. It'll always be here if we need it. Sure, that was also true last time, and we still die. The door to the bay, the weak the air, her voice.
Something nasty. Silence, I see. Don't think I've forgotten about you. I recognized the sound of your nervous little footsteps as soon as they came into my home. I know who you are, and I remember what you've done.
She must have you confused. She seems... Look, do you want... You need... Fine, fine. You're the boss. Thank you. You descend the basement steps, entering the dark room below. You can just make out the shape.
And there you are.
She's acting like... Oh, that's pretty sharp. Call it... Well, you remember us then? No, I don't. I'm just glad we could... Is it all behind? Just focus on the... Let's chat. Don't talk to her.
Well, I seem to remember you having a time.
Very pragmatic. That is why you're in charge.
Abandoning me, are you? Fine then. Run. Tuck your tail between your legs and scamper away. You might be able to escape me, but you can't escape from what you are and what you've done. If I don't take you, the wilds will.
You turn to leave, but as you do, there's a deep, guttural groan, seemingly uttered by the walls themselves, followed by the creak of wood being stretched beyond its limits. The cabin starts to get smaller. What the hell is going on? We're getting out of here and saving our skins. That's what's going on. As the roots that make up the walls of the cramped basement attempt to close in around you, instinct kicks in, and you bolt upstairs. The steps are uneven and lively, creaking as they expand out of the dirt floor, the stairway growing smaller and smaller as you dart up towards the light. You manage to squeeze through the door just as the entrance seals itself shut behind you. The cabin is smaller than it was before, and it's getting even smaller and smaller. That's fine, we'll just leave. I'm sure you'd like to do that. But unfortunately, there is no longer a front door. The roots have already closed over the only possible exit. What little light peeks through the holes that were once windows is growing weaker as the cabin continues to close in on itself. Shit. What do we do? As your mind races for an answer, you hear the princess's voice crackle up the stairs.
Do you hear that, you loathsome thing? Those are the roots of the wild, and they're coming to choke the breath from your lungs and squeeze the life out of you.
Slump to the floor as the roots continue to expand into the cabin. Ugh, we're never going to make something of ourselves with that attitude. At least she isn't going to make something of herself either. At first it's almost gentle, your body being lifted delicately off the ground as the floor shifts beneath you. But the cradle of the growing roots starts to feel suffocating, then unbearably tight, then that tightness gives way to bulging pressure as they begin to constrict. The sound of creaking wood is drowned out by the snaps and pops of your bones, pain flooding your senses as you feel your skin deform, being shaped unnaturally by the living cabin.
The suffering is what you deserve, you hideous creature. Know as you die that you are hated. I hate you, and I'm glad to die horribly if it means you die with me. I wouldn't have it any other way.
The pressure is unfathomable. You can't breathe, your vision swimming with red, your head pounding with trapped blood. And then you pop. Everything goes dark, and you die.
We are a path in the woods. We have no beginning, and we have no end. But something cold and unnatural sits watching us from just beyond our edge. His gaze pushes against our borders, curling them in on themselves, preventing them from stretching to the places they need to reach.
No, that's all wrong. You're not a path in the woods, you're on a path in the woods. Who's even saying that? That's not the princess, is it? Oh no. How many times have you been here? I think this is our third? That's bad. That's very, very bad. It wasn't even supposed to reach 2. If you're at 3, well, no wonder things aren't the way they're supposed to be. Let's get our facts straight. What happened last time? What could you have possibly done for things to be like this?
The thing that sits beyond our edge speaks his logic into us. He tries to grasp at things that cannot be grasped. He tries to stare with wide pupils at that which can only be held from the corner of the eye or with a passing glance.
Shut up. The rest of you, talk. What happened? What did you do? Why does he want to know? I don't mind where we are right now. It's rather nice. I can hear what everyone is thinking. There's no reason to keep secrets. We tried leaving her in the basement, but she made the cabin come to life, and it crushed both of us into a fine paste. And now we're here, existing. And for what it's worth, I'm with him. This is nice.
It was a fitting end. I'm sorry if it hurt, but doesn't this make it all seem so small?
I see. So the cabin ground you into paste, and now you're convinced you're stuck together. What a mess.
He doesn't understand. We aren't convinced of anything, and we aren't stuck together. We're one. This is how we're supposed to be. Can't you feel it?
You can't just passively exist forever. Not with her. That isn't how it works. I don't care if it was the cabin that killed you, because it seems to me like she was the reason the cabin could even do something like that in the first place. You need to remember that you and the princess are enemies. Don't let bygones be bygones. Remember what she's done to you and how much it hurt.
We can't go back to that. We can't go back to the doubting and the hatred and the schemes. Not after being something as beautiful as this.
Doesn't all that conflict feel so far away right now? So petty? We've been posed against each other by something that understands the strength of our unity.
Spoken like, honestly, a real puppet master. Have we considered that maybe she's the one trying to trick us?
I'm not.
But there's a feeling, isn't there? That petty feeling she mentioned, it is fuzzy, but it's there. Almost like she still hates us. It feels mutual.
Please, stop. If you pay attention to that feeling, we'll fall apart.
Don't look at it!
She's trying to turn you away from the truth. There's something she doesn't want you to see. I think you already know you have to look at it. Everyone's pulling in different directions, but that feeling doesn't have a motive, it just exists. Maybe we should look at it. Can't bury that feeling. You can't hide from your past.
The past doesn't have to exist. Our freedom is within us. We just have to find it.
And just like that, you start to fall apart. She really does hate us, and we hate her. It hurts thinking about us as separate things, but we're separate. We can't hate ourselves. I love me. What were we thinking? Getting into absolute madness. We exist. We're real. We're separate from her. Of course we are. What are we? I can't remember. I don't want to remember what it felt like to be killed. It was so much nicer when it didn't feel like it mattered. And yet you keep remembering. You remember the loathing and animosity you've shared with the princess, the pain and the anger and the betrayal. And you start to remember something else, too. You remember that you are a distinct being with a finite form and a mortal body. You can feel it. There is a shifting of the space around you, the infinitesimal movement of your molecules rearranging back into the shape of what you're meant to be.
Maybe bygones can't be bygones. I don't know why I ever wanted to share a body with you, of all things. It's like my very soul reeks of yours. That was horrible. This is better, finally. I'll be able to hurt you like you deserve.
I wish I didn't have to.
Some division, when so, can never truly be mended. A cavernous gash rips across whatever it was you thought you were. A cabin comes into being among the trees. It approaches, and it swallows your body whole. And then you find yourself, blade in hand, exactly where you need to be. At the center of it all is the princess, a wooden and fleshy heart beating with an unbroken rhythm. You're filled with a sense of purpose. Strike at her. End this once and for all.
Kill me then, if you hate me so much. Just get it over with.
I don't like this. What he wants us to do, it's just cruel. It feels like we'd be killing a part of ourselves. Well, this should be easy. If you're sure about it. I mean, what's the point of being king of the hill if there's no one around to be better than? we'd just be sitting on a hill.
Do we have to do this?
You have to. You know you have to. You raise the blade, taking aim at her heart. And then you strike.
I'm sorry.
She's gone. And is that a... I'm begging you. This doesn't feel right. It's calling us. If they think it's bad.
Something finds me in the long quiet and brings me the gift of a fragile vessel. Yes, nerves and fibers to feel the worlds beyond, perspectives to make my own. This one is like a shadow of me, twisting vines in search of answers. She will make for a curious heart. Do not mourn her. She has found what she yearned for. Nothing as we are. There is no exit. Bring me more perspective. She asks that I tell you to remember her. You won't.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. You're here to slay her. You make your way up. A warning, she will lie. We're not gonna go. Ignore him. The interior of the blade is... The door to the... Her voice
Hello?
is... Don't let it...
Wait, really?
I see.
Come downstairs. I want to see the face of my rescuer.
You walk down the stairs. I am begging you to...
Hi. I hope you brought something to deal with these...
You were... You're only making this more difficult.
Thank you.
You're making... No. You're doing the right thing. You walk up, they're large and heavy.
I'm guessing you don't have the key?
Maybe it's somewhere up. Doubtful.
Okay. I'll be here.
You attempt to make your... Is someone else here? You make your easier for everyone. Look at the mess you're in.
I heard the door slam.
There's a slight panic, right?
If I could just get out of these chains...
She barely hesitates before raising her arm as she rips her flesh from her bone. A sound comes from behind. It's the blade from upstairs. You're not sure how it... Or we could... You won't... Without hesitation, you rip the wound dry. Okay. There's no...
You...
The princess pushes away from you. The wounded, but still alive.
You've made a...
I thought we had an act. She's wounded and I'm not so... Don't waver now. As you ready your blade to deliver a leap, your knife, forget about trying to rescue. Though your nerves are seizing with pain, you know you seize a moment of... We can still turn... The princess... What if she doesn't succumb to her wound? You rush up the stairs and dive past the threshold. You're safe. For now. You close the basement door, locking it behind you and quickly barricading it with the heavy wooden table that once held the blade. Okay, we can make this work. She has an awful wound and we have all the time in the world. Playing jailkeeper for a while might make things a little easier. You settle in against the far wall to watch the basement door. It isn't long before you start to drift off, your eyelids heavy with fatigue. But sleep doesn't come. Instead, your rest is broken by a piercing, wailing voice calling out to you from the other side of the door.
I know you're still there. Why don't you make things easier on yourself and let me out? It's not like this little door will hold for very long anyways. It's probably a good idea to try to get back on my good side.
She sounds terrifying. Like she's less of the princess you saw and more like something out of a nightmare. As she violently rattles the door, you do your best to shut her out of your mind.
When I get out of here, I'm going to pick you apart piece by piece. I won't forget what you did, and I'll never forgive it. You don't know the kind of enemy you've made tonight.
It doesn't sound like she's getting any weaker. No, it doesn't.
Do you think a couple of cuts is enough to do me in? I'm not as frail as you think.
You put the princess's threats out of your mind as best you can and huddle up against the wall. You jolt awake in the middle of the night to silence in the cabin. The ruckus has stopped, and the door to the basement is ajar, its lock broken, and the table shoved out of the way. Where is she?
Thanks for helping me get out of that awful basement.
You try and stumble to your feet, but as the princess draws near, it's as though your body simply stops working. It isn't all at once. The paralysis comes in waves. First your toes go numb, and then your feet, and then your legs. You lie prone on the floor of the cabin, unable to do anything but witness her approach. Whose side are you on? Yours, of course. But I have a duty to uphold the truth. Lying about the facts of the situation doesn't change them.
So helpless. I can take my time with you, can't I?
She steps closer, one silent footfall at a time, cocking her head in curiosity as you feel your organs shutting down one by one.
Or maybe I can't take my time with you. You don't look well. A little green around the gills. What a shame. If you'd only helped me get out of here, we could have done such wonderful things together.
Your lungs stop drawing in breath, and your heart freezes in your chest. You have seconds left.
I'd say better luck next time, but we both know this is the end, don't we?
It can't be. This can't actually be how everything ends. I'm sorry, but it is. Everything goes dark, and you die. Your Honor, you're here. Oh, she will lie. I don't think it doesn't matter. The interior of the cabin is plain, the smooth wood of the walls almost featureless. The only furniture of note is a lone table, knocked on its side in the corner of the room. A pristine blade stands between you and the open, inviting basement doorway. The blade is your implement. Hold on. What happened to the door? It's just an empty frame. She's already gotten out, hasn't she? And she's ready for us. She's been waiting. I'm going to need all of you to pull yourselves together. The princess has not already gotten out. But if you keep getting stuck in your head like this, you're going to struggle to get the job done. So deep breath in, deep breath out. Your task awaits, and only you can do it. Oh, we should have taken the knife. I don't think going down there unarmed is going to do us any favours. You cross over the threshold, and onto a series of isolated steps suspended in darkness.
More eyes, too. You never mention the eyes.
The air seeping up from below reminds you of fresh lightning and static, as if you're descending into a place that isn't meant for a creature of flesh and blood. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably be doing her a favour. Her cruel and playful voice prances up the stairs.
I didn't think you'd come back. We're gonna have a lot of fun, you and I.
Come back? She must have you confused with someone else. You really don't remember, do you? You make your way to the bottom of the stairs. As you emerge, you find yourself between two loose rows of white wooden planks suspended in nothingness. A smattering of cobblestones, visible against the inky black of the basement, mark where the floor should be, forming vague pathways. At what seems to be the end of the room, they diverge in opposite directions, left and right.
She could be anywhere, and there's nowhere for us to hide. We're completely exposed.
Are you really not going to comment on how weird this place is? No, I'm not. Somebody needs to be the voice of reason here, and it certainly isn't you. Excuse me, I'm being incredibly reasonable. You're the one who's just matter-of-factly describing whatever the hell we're looking at like it's an ordinary basement.
We're going to die down here. I don't want to die again.
Please stop saying that. You're only going to make things worse. Just pick a direction and start moving.
I wouldn't give it too much thought if I were you. It doesn't really matter, because either way you go, I'm going to find you.
You turn back to the stairs, only to find that they aren't there. A faintly outlined path lies before you.
There you are. I told you I was going to find you.
As the princess approaches, your legs suddenly go numb. Your arms quickly follow.
This is it, isn't it?
It's almost like you want me to get you.
There has to be a way out of this. Think!
What did you do? Pull yourself together. She isn't supposed to be like this.
I wonder how many times I'll get to play with you before you break.
As your blood begins to coagulate, it's as if every part of your being is coming to a lurching halt. Heart, lungs, liver, nerves. Heart, lungs, liver, nerves. Heart, lungs, liver, nerves. Heart, lungs, liver, nerves. Heart. Your lungs pull in a desperate gulp of air as your eyes shoot back open. What are you doing?
I'm working. Do you want this body to function, or do you want...
Okay, whatever you were doing, please just start doing it again.
Are you sure about that? Are you sure that's what you want, or do you want to interrupt me some more?
You have seconds left.
Yes, I'm sure.
Heart, lungs, liver, nerves. Heart. Again, your eyes shoot open as you gasp for breath.
Can't decide what you want to do, can you? Oh well, standing there gasping like a fish is more fun than dead, even if you look ridiculous.
She isn't attacking us. Why? The why doesn't matter. She's already proven her ill intent. Don't lose sight of your mission. How are we supposed to do that? We don't have a weapon. The way out of here is nowhere to be seen. That isn't my fault. It doesn't matter whose fault it is, because fighting her isn't an option right now. Then you should get looking, shouldn't you? Lungs, liver, nerves, heart, lungs, liver, nerves, heart, lungs, liver, nerves, heart, lungs. You turn and run, doing your best to put one useless leg in front of the other.
You poor, poor thing. Wrong choice.
You get nowhere before the princess is in front of you once again.
You're always going to be a coward.
She raises a hand to her mask and pulls it down. You don't get the chance to see what lies beneath before it envelops you. Like a creeping mold, the complete reality of your existence threads its way through your mind. Birth, death, birth again, decay and bloom, a million stitches from a million microscopic wounds you've inflicted on everyone you've ever met, with every muscle you've moved and every word you've ever spoken. No.
Let me out.
Your existence hurts them.
Let me out.
A lonely soul in a room by itself, weeping. It lives for 80 years and then it's gone. And then it's there again.
Let me out.
A reprieve. A good life. Love. Children. A steady career. Recognition from your peers. Here one moment, gone the next. The worms have found their orifices.
Let me out!
Diagnosis. It forgets everything it is. Anger, rage, distance, poverty. The lonely soul is lonely again. Love turns to mockery. It dies. It is reborn. Worse. Lonelier.
Let me out!
No. What's happening to us?
Let me out!
This is all too much. I can't keep going.
You can't keep going? Well, what are you talking about?
Oops, I think I broke you. I'll see you soon. You'll know what to do.
You're on a path in the... Shit! What the hell was that? Who are we? What are we doing?
There was a princess, I think. It's all so fuzzy. It hurts when I try to remember.
I think we were trying to save the world. You shouldn't know about the princess. At least, not until I... You've already been here, haven't you? I guess. It feels so long ago, almost like we've never left.
We have to let her out.
No, that's the opposite of what you're here to do. You have to slay her. Slay? We decided not to do that, didn't we? Yeah, we're supposed to let her out.
No, we were supposed to keep her trapped there forever. I think.
We're supposed to be unfeeling. How many times do I have to tell you to snuff out your heart? We can't be unfeeling. Not when there's so much fear everywhere. There's nothing for us to do. We've already tried everything.
We love her, so we have to set her free. Can we love something that hates us? Can we love something that hurts us?
To be given an ounce of kindness from something so cruel would be more pure than any other love. Why are there so many of us? There aren't supposed to be so many of us. This is bad. You need to get a grip. What did you let happen? How many times have you been here? You slowly make your way through the umbral forest, bumping against unseen trees as you grasp through the darkness for a way forward. But eventually, you do make it to the cabin. Or rather, you make it to the place a cabin should have been. Instead, all you find is an empty hill. No, this isn't right. There's a cabin there. There's always supposed to be a cabin there.
Don't ask him about the mirror.
He always says he never sees it.
He always lies. And he always makes it gone. It's exhausting. We must be such a mess. Stay focused. You still have a job to do, and she's still here. Buried deep inside the earth. Just walk up the hill. You always give too much space to the others. You walk up the hill, hesitating just beyond the bounds of the cabin.
The cabin that isn't there.
You've got to clean the mirror, haven't you?
Smash it to pieces!
She's on the other side, and we have to let her out.
It's the only way we can have our thoughts back. Just go around it.
Just do something.
Exactly. I'm sure that whatever you settle on, it'll be the best possible decision you could have made. Proceed? Proceed to where? I'm afraid you're going to have to be a little more specific. That's a new one. Do you think it'll work? Of course it'll work. He always makes the best decisions. And it already has worked. It's gone, don't you see?
We're one step closer to her.
The interior of the cabin is much the same as the exterior of the cabin. A dull, fuzzy, dreamlike nothing. It's empty and isolating, but there's just enough vague shape and unknown texture to suggest the structure therein. Wrong and unsettling as it may be, the only object of note is a pristine blade buried in the dirt floor. The blade is your implement. Take it. You reach down to take the blade, but as you do, the ground beneath it shifts, the weapon sinking deep into the earth. You lean over the hole and gaze into the abyss. It is so very deep, deep in the bowels of the earth. You see something staring back at you. It fills you with dread. It's her. She's watching us. She never stops watching us.
There you are. My toy has finally come to finish his job.
With every word she speaks, the princess in the pit blinks closer.
You dragged this out for so much longer than you had to.
Closer.
But it was always just a matter of time.
And closer.
You're going to have to stop running eventually.
And closer.
Everything stops running eventually. Except for me. I've already taken your will, and you're not getting it back. All that's left is for you to take my will and let me out. It'll be so much fun. You and me, together, exploring the world and spreading fear wherever we go. Well, mostly just me. But you'll get to be there too. A trinket that gets to stay with me all the time. Right by my side. A witness. I can even make you a little cage if you want. Gilded and everything. Now don't pause. Don't try to resist. I've already molded you into what I need. And you lost your power so long ago. Don't bother working yourself into a frenzy to get it back.
Do something. Do anything that isn't taking her hand. What are we supposed to do? She took our weapon.
This really was a lost cause, wasn't it? You sealed our fate when you ran away. Fear is the real killer.
Oh well, there's no paralysis anymore. Is it because we've already given her what she wants? You extend your hand to hers. For all her past cruelties, the moment feels gentle, tender even. I can't believe you just made me say that. I hate you. The motion is difficult at first, as if something still resists your efforts. But then that resistance gives way, and it's over.
And that's the end. I wonder what we're going to do next.
I didn't think I'd be so tired. Why is it so cold?
She's gone.
Yeah. I can finally think again. That mirror's back. What does that mean for us? I'm sure it'll be whisked away, just like her.
Maybe it won't be gone. Doesn't seem like there's much else to do here.
Finally.
Oh, you stop with the smack.
What do we say, boys?
Yeah. I think I'd like that.
Seems we've got a majority.
Something tells me that this is the end of the line.
It feels... the fear's gone.
I'm done fighting. My heart feels quiet.
The game was always going to end.
I'll be free of all of you. I'm ready for the truth. I'm ready to sleep.
I'm just ready to be anywhere that isn't here. Boys, it's been an honor.
Flickering lights in empty cityscapes become pockets of vitality and movement. I am more than I was before. Whenever you are ready, I will wipe your slate clean once again. I await your return, but it will give me time to reflect on what I am. We will meet again